So we're going to install some of our functionality changes now, because now you've had a chance to update your theme and your look and feel. You've added some pages with some content, so you've managed a little bit about what's on the different pages. Now let's look at changing a little bit about how your site actually functions, okay? And to do that, we are going to come over here to plugins, and let's first go to installed plugins. Just as a reminder, you know, Jetpack and Akismet were part of WordPress.com, which is, you know, related to WordPress.org, which is basically what we're using to set up your site. We're using self-hosted WordPress. WordPress.com is a site where you wouldn't have to do this same amount of work that we're doing here, but yet you would have, more restrictions and less functionality. But we incorporated some of that functionality here, and now we're going to add a little bit more. So one of the first things that I'd like for you to add is a plugin called the Discuss plugin. So I'm going to click Add New, and Discuss is spelled like this. It's in your list of essential plugins, and so what you want to do is click Install Now. And we're going to activate the plugin. It's just this simple. Okay. Now it's telling us to configure by clicking comments on the left. And there's also a configure link here. So we'll click configure, and then we don't have a Discuss profile yet. So we'll use the email. And we'll use the same login that we were using elsewhere to create our new profile. All right, good. So we have a profile now. There's that. Let's go back. See if that's correct. There aren't any sites, so let's associate the site. Are we logged in? Yes. So smmgr.org, social media manager org. We're using WordPress. We did this. In the short name field, remember your short name. So I'm going to copy this. Great. So for just a second here, we are going to go back. And we're going to associate this site. Great. So what happened here now is that it's telling us that if we If we had existing comments on our site, in other words, if you were adding this plugin after you already had comments, you would want to export and import them into Discuss. But since we're doing this from the beginning and we don't have any comments, we don't have to worry about that. So we can just continue to our moderation dashboard. This is where, as you have comments come into your blog, people who comment on your blog posts, they will be posted here for you to approve, mark as spam, or delete. You can add or remove some moderators. You can blacklist or whitelist people. You can set up your email notifications about how you want to be notified when there is a new comment. Here's other things that you can do. You can edit these discussions. For me, I just, instead of having a specific author for each post, I would leave this and all of these tabs blank. This is really if you were trying to move threads to a new domain, so you don't have to worry about tools, import, export. If you want to see your site's analytics as you have comments and stuff come in, you can see that now. And then here is where you would set up your Discuss settings, or your how to configure this for your community. So if you wanted to change the way that it looked, so let's open, whoops, let me open that in a new tab so that we can kind of flip back and forth, and we'll go to the blog. And we'll go to our blog post so you guys can actually kind of see what it looks like here. There's some things we need to do to edit it. So we could change for light backgrounds. We can change the typeface. We're going to put the newest comment first. Language is English. You could fill out a description if you wanted to. We want to allow guests to comment. It's up to you whether you want comments to be moderated or not. It might in the beginning be a good idea, and then if you notice that you don't really need to moderate, then you could turn it off, because it's best if you don't have it, but it might be good for clients and stuff, depending on your client, to moderate the comments before they're posted. And definitely comments with links should be moderated before they're published, otherwise people just drop spam. Allow people to attach and display images and videos that are mentioned, that's fine. Set a Twitter username. So for me, I'll use my username, or actually I'll use the SMMGR username. So if somebody tweets something from Discuss comments, that's the Twitter name that it will use. Now we can come back over here and we can refresh, and we'll see if it changed anything. And you can see how many comments are there. Now if I were to come to this site and log in, here's where I can, as someone else, here's where I could share something. I can also edit as an admin. I have lots of options here about what I can do. I'll show you over on the moving slow today on the internet here. So you can see down here, if I were, you can see people have, I can reply, I can share, community, top people who post on KBJ Online, and so here are people's Discuss profiles. I'll open mine. Here's mine. where I have commented on other people's stuff. People can follow you, people can vote on your comments. There's a lot of different things you can do, but that is the beauty of the Discuss plugin, is that it adds a lot of cool functionality. As I type a message for myself, I could share this on Facebook and Twitter and help get the word out about this particular blog post. So there's a lot of really cool things that you can do with it. Here's a good example of what your site's going to look like. Here's where the different moderators that you might have moderating. Like for instance, I can add myself as a moderator, right? Because I know my Discuss username. And this means that my profile now, if I'm logged in as Kate Buck Jr. on this site, that I can make changes and I can moderate comments. This is great where you can restrict certain words or certain people from being able to comment on your site. And then sort of some of the advanced ones, go ahead and leave the default picture. If somebody doesn't have a Discuss profile, that this is the picture that will show up for them. Categories can just be default. You really only want to worry about categories for comments if you have a heavy commenting site. And we can save those changes as well. So let's go back again and we'll do auto there. And we do want to show the comments. Sort the newest first. There we go. Let's see. I think that's all you guys need to know. And then when there is a new comment that comes in, you can see this is a comment that was already existing on WordPress, so it's not in our Discuss dashboard. But now when someone posts a new comment here, oops. Okay, that new comment comes here. You can approve, delete. It tells you who posted it, etc. So there's the Discuss plugin. That's one. Another plugin that I use a lot and I recommend is called Pretty Links. And it's very simple to use. Basically, I can take a long URL, such as this for my new blog post, and I want to make it shorter. I post it here as my target URL, and then I can just say blog post, or anything I want to, paint or color, how about that? And if that, say that was what the blog post was about, and then I click create. And now not only can I keep track of stats, but also I can share this short URL, and when people go to it, it redirects them to this long blog post. So Pretty Links is another must-have URL. That way you can share short links out to your social media. Another one that you should definitely install is Google Analytics. And this will help you keep track of your analytics in your Google Analytics account. So you want to install now. Activate plugin. You do have to configure this one. So let's see, where is it? Right here under settings, Google Analytics. It's going to ask you for this UA code, and I'll show you where to get that. I'll just type Google Analytics here. All right, so I'm going to access Google Analytics, and to do that, I need to just use my Google account. And so I'm logged in with a Gmail account that I created for this. And my new website name is smmgr.org and smmgr.org. And we'll put it in, it doesn't matter what industry, we'll put it there for now. And get tracking ID, I accept. And now here's that UAID that I needed. So I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to head back over here and click paste and then save changes. Now when I log into my Google Analytics account in the future, I'll be able to see my different settings. From an admin, I will be able to deal with at my AdWords or tracking info, any of those kinds of things. But most importantly is I'll be able to grab the reporting of how many people visit my site, what pages do they visit, how long are they there, and that sort of thing. Now, otherwise, we want to go back to our Jetpack, and we want to connect our site to popular social networks and automatically share our new posts with friends. So we're going to configure that. And what you need to do is sync up your Facebook, your Twitter, your LinkedIn, and if you use Tumblr or Path, you want to sync those. And what will happen is automatically when you post a new blog, it will share out to those social networks. As well as if I drag these buttons here, then what will happen is when users read one of my blog posts, if they want to share with one of these services, which are the 5 main services that I recommend, you can change it to the icon only, which they will look like this. You can change it to icon and text. You can change that to the text only, or you can use the official buttons, which is the one that I recommend. Sharing label, open links in a new window, and show these buttons on your posts and your pages, and then click Save Changes. So this reduces the need to add any kind of social buttons to your site. So now if I wanted to tweet this blog post, I could, and it would automatically open up and tweet. I would just need to log in, or for instance, I could pin it on Pinterest if there was a pinnable image on that page. So now we've added our social sharing. We can go back to the Jetpack, which again has a lot of services built into it. You notice that Jetpack comments is grayed out here because we installed the Discuss plugin. Mobile theme, we can activate that here, and that will allow our site to be automatically reconfigured when someone is on a mobile device. We're going to add some sidebar widgets, which we're going to look at in just a second. So we'll go ahead and configure some extra sidebar widgets here. The things I like to display on the side is a search bar. I like to display the recent posts. Sometimes I like to display the comments. In this case, we don't have any, so I'm going to get rid of that. Also, the archives, the categories, and the meta. And if you can see, all I'm doing is just dragging those over and dropping. But one thing I would put is display the Facebook like box. So I would put that. And all you have to do is put your Facebook page URL here. I'll just use mine for now. Show faces for sure. You could even show a stream and it'll show your last few updates if you wanted to do that. We'll put a little border around it and then we'll click save. Close that out. Also, I like to add the Twitter timeline. Oopsie. Underneath that Facebook jetpack. And let's show 5 tweets here. And it's telling us that we first need to create this widget on twitter.com and then enter the widget ID. If you just click this link, it'll take you exactly where you need to go to sign in to Twitter. And I can set this up as some different ways. I can change colors, I can exclude replies, I could add my favorites, but what you want to do is once you have the user timeline is what we're going to use for this. We're going to use light. We're going to create that, and then we just need to get our widget ID, which is somewhere in this mumbo jumbo right here, 3. So what we'll do is we'll copy this. We'll come over here to Gmail. We'll paste it in there. And then all we need to do is grab this. Click save. Now, again, if we come out here and view our site, you can see that our different widgets are displaying here, and we need to configure them because they're not displaying properly. So in this blog post, the search, everything is displaying straight across the bottom. And so what we want to do is move all of these down here into the sidebar. Awesome. And so now they're here along the side. All right, so now you can see our home page. It's on the side. Search, our recent posts, we have 2 of those. Our Facebook plugin here, which it looks like we could make a little bit wider if we wanted to. And our Twitter plugin with our 5 most recent tweets. So that's good. We also, on our blog, have the Discuss plugin and for commenting. And we also have the Share This buttons for sharing. One thing I don't like is how Discuss is working with this particular theme. And the reason I know that is because it looks very different here than it does on the KBJ Online site that we were on earlier. Actually, it's right here. Right, when we were on the blog earlier, you could see that it was, let's see, I'll find a second post just so you guys can know for sure. it's very contained here, and it's not being very contained over here on our site. It's spreading this whole width of the page. And until I have a chance to figure out what's wrong there, and again, that might be a little bit too much for me, I'm going to very easily, and I'll show you how this works, I'm going to very easily come over here into installed plugins, and I will, again, discuss, I will deactivate it. And then you can see when we come back to our site and we go to our About Us page, now that's gone, and we're back to the WordPress comments, which I also am not a huge fan of, if you will remember. So one of the things that was available was in our Jetpack. We can now activate Jetpack comments, and we'll go take a look at those. And the best thing is probably on one of our blog posts with one comment so we can see what they look like. And people can reply and leave a reply here. Great. So I think that this is a simpler way, and it works well with this blog, with this theme. Sometimes you'll notice those kinds of things because every theme operates a little bit different. Now it's not taking up the whole page like the other one was before, and we didn't like that at all. So just disabling that plugin now makes this theme work, makes the comments on this theme work. So I would have to do a little bit more configuration to figure out why that Discuss plugin wasn't working. But now you can, now there are comments, there are short links. I gave you an SEO plugin. You've set up your Google Analytics. And so your site is good to go for sharing. There's one other thing that I would like for you to do, and that is to install the links to your social profiles. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. Inside your handouts, I've given you something called Social Networking Icons HTML, and I also gave you a zip file with your social networking icons. I also gave you something called updated social media icons, and it's a little file, and if you open it, what you'll see is a folder with all of your little icons in different sizes, 16, 24, and 32 pixels, depending on what size you want them to be. So what you need to do with that is, first of all, come into your dashboard, and let's go to your media library, and we're going to say Add New. We're going to select the files, and let's try the 24. And let's say that you have you want to use Facebook and Google Plus and Instagram and LinkedIn and meetup.com and Twitter. I don't know what the Twitter 2 is. We'll see what the difference is. YouTube. And any of the other, Spotify if you wanted, your SlideShare if you wanted. You might want to go ahead and grab the RSS. If you want to put any of these sites, Pinterest of course, any of these sites where you have a profile and you want to display the button with a link to that profile. Ooh, some of these are old. There's Koala in there. Foursquare is a great one. Let's see. We'll just grab those because they're the main ones, and we'll click choose. And now all of these are going to upload. And again, I'm going to go back to KBJ Online so I can just show you. This is what I'm talking about here where it says connect with Kate Buck Jr. So you definitely want your main sites, which are Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Those are your main 4. And then if you want to add Pinterest, Pinterest, Instagram, and Google+, you can add those as well, okay? So you'd have a total of 7. And then you might also add what you see right here is this button for your RSS, okay? Now, what we do with those is it's a combination of using the code that I gave you, these buttons that you just uploaded, and your widgets, appearance widgets. Okay, we're going to open that in a new tab. So the first thing that you want to do, and we'll put this in the footer, is we're going to find arbitrary text or HTML. And we're going to put that there, and you can see that it's blank. And so then if you grab the HTML that I gave you and you copy and paste it, what you want to do also is just make sure that what I'm doing here is I'm deleting spaces and making sure that it's set up properly. Now, replace with link to socialprofile.com is where you would say HTTP and then I'm going to say twitter.com/Kate Buck Jr. because that's the link to my social profile. The title is Twitter. This target equals blank. We'll have it open in a new page. And then now you need what's called the image source, and here's where it says replace with link to image. And that's where we come back here and we grab our Twitter image. We'll use the Twitter 2, I guess. It's not what we wanted. We really just want to sorry, right here on the right, file URL. I'm going to copy that, come back to our widget, paste that there and click save. We'll put connect with Kate. Now, let's do one more. And we'll do Facebook. And then we'll just change this, the title, target equals blank, so it opens in a new tab. Alt tag would be Facebook, name is Facebook. You could even, for search engine purposes, put Kate Buck Jr. Facebook, okay? You could copy and paste that everywhere. Now this is going to show the Twitter picture because that image source is pointing to our Twitter image. So this time we're going to edit our Facebook image and we're going to grab this short URL. I'm just going to click Control A and Control C. I'm going to come back to my widgets. Now I'm sure there's plugins to do this, but I like to do it myself because that way I can really manage it very granularly. And if you'll remember, we put this down in the footer. So now I've connect with Kate, and when I click Twitter, it takes me to Twitter, and when I click Facebook, it takes me to my Facebook profile, okay? You can go on and on here with your Google+, your Instagram, your LinkedIn, your Pinterest, and your YouTube. Any of the social media icons that you'd like to do, you just need to use the code that I gave you and the icons that I gave you.